and no real reason to think that you cannot play if you don't warm up. And I'm the living proof of that because I've never ever warmed up. Now I have to because my muscles are 66-year-old and my hands are stiff, and so it's for me it's now really important I'm doing that. These technical exercises I find extremely boring to do. The timpani exercises are simple. They're all very simple. But I need to make it one way or another. I need to do it. So what I'm actually doing, and this is of course secret, don't tell anybody. I'm just looking Netflix or a football game, and sitting with my little practice pad before the television, and I'm in general just improvising. But what I'm doing, of course, at the same time is I'm listening, even when I play on the practice pad. You know? And if I would play like this, well, this the table makes too much noise, but or this one. I mean, you can hear the difference in sound. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but changing the grip creates a lot of difference in sound. And so I'm always listening what I'm doing, and I'm definitely listening for the most important thing that my teacher and Peter's teacher taught me, which is regularity. So every sound you make on the practice pad or on the table or on the telephone book, wherever you're playing or on the floor, must be regular. It must all sound the same. That's the goal. The other thing is it must feel comfortable in my hands, see. So there must be a sort of flexibility and sensitivity in the hands. And in that sense, I'm just improvising, and all improvising I suddenly find a nice sort of exercise. And I'm just writing it down. And I have in this book, which actually I'm going to do a lottery. Maybe at the end of the day, I have 2 books. I'm going to do a lottery, so you can win one of these books. In these books, I have these sort of exercises there. And I've called them, you know, I put them in this sort of system. But I'm making more. And I'm just going to tell you, then you can play. One thing about exercising, and maybe later today, if you all have these exercises, we're going to do a little bit of technical, just playing through them a little bit and explain why I'm making these. So, standard first lesson, timpani lesson, a technical thing, you go to the timpani teacher, he says you have to play 4 times right, 4 times left. Yes, is that for you also the same or not? You know? And always when you're not playing, the stick is in this position. If the stick is in this position, it will fall down and you need pressure in the grip. Is that logical? Everybody understands. If I play, if I hold it here, if I let it go, it falls down. So I need a little bit of pressure. I don't mind, because that's nice. It's not a lot. But if it's in this position, it's a bit more, you know, it's just imbalance, and you just learn to balance your stick anyway, in that sense. But 4 times right, 4 times left. The problem with things that are in 2 or in 4 is they are sort of vertical. Now you think, what do you mean with that? So, huh? Good. Now I've played this. Have you listened to this? Have you listened? Did you hear any difference between my right and my left hand? Yours, Raoul, yes? You're saying no.
Yes.
Because you're polite?
No.
Because you didn't really listen?
Because I got disturbed with the thing, but then I listen everything kind of similar.
Well, I listened because I was talking to you and I was doing this, but meanwhile I was listening. Because I was talking to you yesterday about this listening aspect. That's actually the main thing. We're playing, yes, we're producing music, But in the end, it's the result of our playing. That's what it's all about. Yeah, and that you only can perceive by listening. So my listening is always on. And of course, I'm talking now, and while I'm talking, I can hear the birds there, but I also hear a sort of machine, and maybe air conditioning, whatever. You hear it. If you listen carefully, you can even catch the note of this one. So this listening aspect is extremely important, because it tells me if I'm doing it right or wrong. Now, vertical. Tap, 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 tap. Now the thing is, I discovered doing these exercises that when you do things in 3, suddenly they are not vertical, tap, 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 but they are horizontal. So, we will do it later a little bit, just to get the feel. So we have 4 times right, 4 times left, but we need to do it in triplets. So, 1, 2, 3, tap, 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 tap. Tam, 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 tam. And the thing is that when I feel it in this 3, 1, 2, 3. Sorry. So, tam. I feel my system going to, instead of, I'm starting to play with a sort of different technique. I'm feeling that ta 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 ti ta 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 ti ta 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 ti ti ti, right, left, 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 right, right, right. Suddenly it gets this sort of nice horizontal flow in it. And those things are very important in developing your technique, to know if it's like, or to feel like it's in 4 or in 2. And, oh sorry, I thought I switched it off. So we're going to check that a little bit later, because you can use that in many kind of technical exercises. Yeah. Even when you do stuff in 3, I can do 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So this movement is still vertical. See, but if I do like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you have to believe me, you're looking at me like, okay, fine. But you have to do it to feel the difference. It's a huge difference. Good. Questions about this? Okay. So there are many technical things I can tell you about. We'll just play, maybe in the beginning of the afternoon, we will play a little bit of these ones through to feel why am I doing this, how am I doing this. But the element of developing your technique is actually developing, of course you need to develop speed and strength, but the most important thing is flexibility and sensitivity in your hands. That's very, very, very important. Yeah? Good. Now let's go to something completely different, yes? Punji?
Ja.
Beethoven?
Ja.
9.
9.
Okay, good. And you want to become a timpani player? Or you want to be a marimba player? And you like timpani?
I study for orchestral music.
Yeah.
Give workshops.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a very complicated, important timpani part. This one you will always play in audition. I was talking yesterday to Raphael that there is this huge difference between ein Probespiel and to play ein Konzert. It's totally different. The Probespiel approach has nothing really to do with the music. So what kind of, do you want the orchestral version or the audition version?
Actually,
Both.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. Okay, let's start. You can play.